So hey guys, here we are at Spa, and this is actually my first time racing in the Class D license of the Ferrari GT3 fixed series. So yeah, it's at Spa. Not the greatest course to be having your first race at, but I gave it a shot anyway. So I think I started off in P13. I think I qualified P13, full group. I'm not sure what the split was. No, it wasn't top split. Obviously, I'm not that good. But anyway, I'm still figuring this out. I've only been doing it this time. I've only been on iRacing for maybe 3 weeks, and got my Class D license. So I heard that the Ferrari GT3 was a pretty good class and good car to race. And I like GT3 series cars anyway. So it seemed like the obvious choice for me. So yeah, anyway. I'm here at P13, and somehow I get up to P12 right off the bat. I don't know if I passed somebody or somebody went off at the start or something. I can't remember. But anyway, this Ferrari, it's fixed, so you can't do any adjustments other than brake balance, front to rear, and that's pretty much it. And it likes to push, as most of you guys know who race this car. As it's fixed like it is, it's just pushes and understeers a lot. So the other problem with this is that at Spa, if you've raced at Spa on iRacing, the track limits are minimal. So you get 17 X's and then you're DQ'd. And I was getting up there pretty good with my offs, 2 offs or 4 offs or whatever it was, and my X's were getting up there. So I had that stressing me out as well, and so I love Spa, but it's a very challenging track for me anyway. And so I'm just tooling along my own business, trying to get my safety rating up, because as you guys know, or maybe you don't, in iRacing, it's all about your safety rating to increase your driver's license. So I'm in D right now, and I think I started this race at like 3.92 in my safety rating. I can't remember. But as you see there, I got a couple off, and I think I got dinged. And I can't remember if iRacing dings your safety rating for just offs as far as track limits, or if actually hitting like the wall, spinning out and hitting the wall. And definitely they ding you for hitting another competitor. And I know that you get dinged for collision if you hit a wall on your own. So I was trying to be perfect and precise, and it's a little difficult for me with this car, the way it's set up. Not to mention it's at Spa, so coming up through Eau Rouge was okay, but if you don't hit it right in this car, for me anyway, it was a challenge to get through Radium. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And so yeah, it seemed like I was doing okay. I was just trying to stay out of trouble. I got up to P10 here, as you can see on my windshield there. It shows that I was P10, and from what I'm understanding is you can see my car number is 13. So I think it's like Gran Turismo and all the other sims that, depending on how your skill level, they're expecting you to finish at 13 or higher. So, and I think like I said, I started in P13. I think I qualified in P13. So I was pretty stoked right here that I was already up to P10, and that was primarily obviously not from me passing anybody, right? But it was from attrition, guys taking themselves out or spinning or whatever. Going into the pits, I think already a couple guys did. I can't remember exactly. I did this race last week because, as you know or may not know, in iRacing, every week, every Monday is a new track and a new I can't remember all the terminology for it, but every week, every Monday is a new track for the series, the race series. So last week was Spa, so I thought I'd give it a shot. And as you can see right there, I just kept it. I was too tight on the curbs on the right-hand side there, and just hugged the car and pulled the car in. And luckily, I didn't hit the wall, so I didn't get a 4X for collision or anything like that. But I did get obviously an off-track limit X, if you will. And I got passed by like 4 or 5 cars. I think I'm in P15 now, so I was up to P10, top 10. I was being hopeful, but then that happened. So I dropped back to, I think it's P15. Might even be P16. Anyway, it was a few cars past me. So at this point, I'm just like, trying to stay calm, Yeah, P14. Okay, so it wasn't terrible, but not great, right? Because these guys are pretty quick, and I was gonna struggle to catch these guys. That being said, coming through T1 there, I did catch up to the guy in the brown car, right there in the brown Ferrari. I was catching him, so I was hoping if at least if I could get up to P13 or P12 and at least place a little higher than where I qualified and where they expected me to finish, that I increased my I rating, which I think at this point was below 1300, or it might have been 1400. Actually, it might have been 1400 because I came out of the Miata Cups and I was doing pretty good, decent in the Miata Cups, and I got my I rating up to just over 1400, which isn't stellar, but it was good for me 2 weeks into iRacing and figuring all this out. I'm still trying to figure out iRacing, all the nuances of it and the UI and everything else, and what works, what doesn't. And a lot of that I'm just learning from friends of mine that are on iRacing, excuse me, and watching YouTube videos of all the guys like Dave Cam and Matt Malone and all these guys. Quirksit, or I can't remember how you pronounce his name, but his handle. But all these guys, I mean, they're stellar drivers, so much faster than me. So, but baby steps. These guys have been doing it for years, and I'm just learning iRacing. So, I'm just trying to figure this course out, trying to figure the cars out, trying to figure iRacing out. And I love iRacing. If anybody's on the fence about iRacing, yes, it costs money, but the great pros to that is that you get skin in the game like everybody else. So it seems like so far in my initial review of this, if you will, or experience with iRacing, that at least these guys seem more respectful and more legit, if you will. They're not just out there to bang into you and dive bomb you because you got money involved in it, right? So it just seems like it's a little, I'm not trying to sound elitist or snobby or whatever, but it just seems like it's a little higher level of skill and people that are on this. So I don't know if it weeds out those racers who are just out there like in an arcade sim kind of thing, that just want to fly as fast as they can and they don't care about learning the racecraft itself. So yeah, I don't know if it's guys that just in iRacing want to actually learn the racecraft and how to race properly and the driving line and everything else, compared to other sims where you're not paying for it. But I don't mind paying for it because another pro is, compared to a con for this, is that every week it's a new track. And you know what? I get excited. I get anxious every time I get into a race because I'm racing other drivers. I'm not racing the AI, which is predictable a lot of times and things of that nature. Now on iRacing, you can race, you can do testing that doesn't, affect your driver rating or your SA rate or your safety rating or anything like that. But there's no AI that I'm aware of. I'm not sure if that's coming to iRacing or not. I might have heard somebody say it was, but anyway. So what I love, like Gran Turismo, I played Gran Turismo for like the last year and a half, and yes, they have live racing and it matters, points and this and that, but again, it still just doesn't, it's not the same type of driver, if you will, sim racer out there on Gran Turismo that it seems to be in iRacing. When I'm in a race, guys who hit me or I hit them, we're apologizing immediately over the microphone. We're respectful of one another. We all want to do the same thing and achieve the same thing and have a good race, essentially. If we come in the top 10, top 5, that's fantastic. First place, I'm not expecting to win any races. I'm just trying to focus on my safety rating. But, with iRacing, it's a different class. It just seems like that. And I can see where people think, oh, well, it's elitist and this and that and the other. And to me, that's not the case. It's more focused, it's more serious of a sim racer, if you will. And I love it. The physics are great. I love Assetto Corsa Competizione too. The physics are really good on that too. But with iRacing, you have a plethora of all different ranges. So you have, dirt racing, you have rally, you have truck NASCAR or whatever it is. Oval racing with the trucks. You have oval racing with NASCAR, regular NASCAR. And I love watching those guys do that. And I might try that out sometime. I'm a road racer. I love road racing. But I might try out the ovals because it looks like a bunch of fun, right? So I do streaming as well, and I'm getting into that, doing that a little more and more. and it's just fun. So having all that, you know, a set of course of competition is awesome. I love it. The graphics are phenomenal. I'm not bashing ACC at all, but it is just one series, right? So I'm actually kind of getting bored with it already since it came out. Hopefully they'll upgrade the tracks as that series, the Blancpain, maybe changes, or maybe they'll add like the Asian series to it or whatever, or the American series to it, and they'll have different tracks. I think that would help them hugely. Because right now I'm just focused on iRacing. Like I said, I just started doing this 3 weeks ago when I did this race last week, and I'm just focused on iRacing because it's competition every time you race, and it's serious. Like, you want points, you want to place well, you want to drive safely and properly. So yeah. So, you know, I went a little off track there, no pun intended, but you know, getting back to the race here, I mean, I love iRacing. That was my little tidbit of my preview of iRacing so far, of my experience with it. And it looks like they keep improving it. So if you're on the fence, I would recommend giving it a shot. At least trying it for a few months. Give it 3 months and pay for it for 3 months and see if you like it. And if not, then you can just walk away from it. But I would recommend it, along with ACC and, you know, R Factor 2 and all those ones that I race as well. But right now, I'm just focused on iRacing. So, and as you can see here, you know, I came up to the brown car, the brown and white Ferrari, got past him going down into turn 1, and I made up a few spots. I think I'm back up to 13. I think I'm at 12 at this point, P12 at this point. So, you know, I made up a couple spots when after I dropped back to 14. So I'm thinking, okay, I think at this point too, there was like maybe 4 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes left in the race. So that equates to about, I don't know, 2 or 3 laps remaining. So yeah, I'm back up to, what am I at? I can't see it on the car. I'm back up to P12. So that's not terrible, right? So I'm thinking, all right, at least I'm up 1 spot. Again, it's not P10 like it was earlier, but P12 would be fine. So, you know, like I said, there's a few minutes left in the race. The guy in the green Ferrari is coming at me. The guy in the blue and orange, what is that, Sunoco? I forget what it was. But I'm coming through Eau Rouge here. I'm trying to keep it clean. Go way off to the left, overcorrect. Go off into the wall. It shoots me back out. And bam, T-boned to no end. And that was my race. And there was like 2 laps left. So I just blew it. So, I didn't know what to do. I just laughed at myself. And I thought it was kind of funny because I see these mess ups on Twitch and all the bloopers from iRacing, and I didn't realize when I got hit that I felt it, and I saw it. I'm spinning to my car, right? But I didn't realize my car went up that high and went over the wall into oblivion. So I just thought it was hilarious. But anyway, so that was my first experience in D license in the Ferrari fixed GT3 cars, and it wasn't a very pleasant one. It was fun, but it was a learning experience for the next time I'm at Spa and doing Spa. And I'm learning this car better more and more every time I race it. The next race is at Okayama, which should be interesting, full course. That's a tight course, and there's a lot of sharp corners on that. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes in the Ferrari in this car. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of this video. If you thought it was nuts, if you think I'm crazy about my preliminary review of iRacing so far in my 3 weeks doing it. Or leave a comment if you like it, if you hate it, what your thoughts are on iRacing, and what you thought about me getting T-boned there. There was nothing I could do. The car just went off. It spun. Once I overcorrected, banged off the wall, and it just threw me back out. I couldn't do anything about it. I had full brakes on, and it just threw me back out. I felt bad for the guy in the green Ferrari because it ruined his race too. And it just threw me over the wall. So anyway, yeah, let me know what you think, and if that was crazy or not. If you like it, hit the thumbs up. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down too. That's cool. And if you would, subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care.